Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
Sriveni, if you could start off with reading the first page.
The workbook. Yes. Thank you so much, Hemant. So the title of this workbook is Develop Your Strategic and Inspiring Leadership. The purpose of this workshop is for you to create your strategic and inspiring leadership plan. The goal is that within 12 months, through your plan, you substantially increase the profit and market value of your company. The contents inside are: first, what's the strategic problem? Assess your own strategic leadership behaviors. Assess your own inspiring leadership behaviors. Create your own strategic and inspiring leadership plan. Evaluate the benefits of your plan. Decide your next key actions. Thank you.
Thank you, Sriveni. Thank you very much. Gentlemen and singular lady, the leadership of any organization is the pole star. They define the direction in which the organization will be moving. They define the altitude the organization will be reaching by sheer imagination, by sheer creativity. And those two you put together to create those goalposts, those bold goals for the organization, which everybody is working towards. One of the key things in an organization is everybody having a shared goal, everybody working towards the common goal. And that goal has to be inspiring enough for everybody to feel challenged, right? To create value. Everybody looks at that goal and is not just meeting expectations. They are thinking about exceeding expectation. And that's the focus today. You as a business owner, you need to be that inspirational leader. And once you have those goalposts identified, you should be able to communicate them to your teams. They should be able to see the same dream that you are seeing for that organization, right? We'll move on to this second page. In the workbook, it's page number 1, talking about the strategic problem. Let me ask Mac to read that out.
Thank you, Hemant. So what is a strategic problem? As business leaders, we often tend to focus more on day-to-day issues at the expense of defining and driving our strategic goals. We also ignore the opportunity to inspire, support, and participation in those strategic goals. This means we spend insufficient time on our strategic goals and too much time on other issues. We spend insufficient time and resources inspiring people to help us achieve our strategic goals. And third part is we consequently do not achieve the highest profit and market value of a company. So what are your strategic conclusions about yourself and your company on the above?
Continue to read the whole page, please.
All right. So what are the current and future consequences of you and your company from not resolving this problem? And what are the financial implications to you and to your company from these consequences?
Thank you, Mac. Thank you. So in the first half of the page, the workbook actually talks about how leaders who are running businesses sometimes get so involved and stuck with running the business that they are not able to focus on the long-term goals, the visionary level thinking, or the CEO level thinking, or the business owner's thinking, which is required, right? They get involved too much into the operations. So if these things are missing, you will miss out on setting those big goals. So with that in mind, keeping these important aspects of business in mind, answer these 3 questions about what are the strategic conclusions based on, are you spending enough time, effort, energy on these things? And if you are not, then what will be the consequences on your company, as well as what are the financial implications of not being visionary enough? Okay, so give it a few moments. Remember, this will require a bit of an intense thinking at a strategic level. So focus on that. Mac is done. Sapan, you're done or okay? Shivani, you are on mute. Okay, let her finish the call.
Completed the call. Yeah. Thank you.
Great. Okay, fantastic. So let's begin with Sapan this time.
Okay, sure,
You could
Hemant.
read out, yes.
Yes. So strategy conclusions are what are the problems stated above are the goals remain on the planning stage, and inaction, even in the right direction, affects the goodwill. The second part is what are the current and future consequences for not resolving is difficulty in running the business even with enough resources, and waste of potential will affect the business value. And financial implications are not able to move at the predicted speed, and lack of new products, services, and projects in coming future.
Great, great. Nicely summarized. Shivani?
Yes. Presently now I am planning on the defining the goals appropriately, the long term and the short term, because it's a little again overlapping and confusion state. And yes, the company, with respect to the company, it needs expansion and delegation of work as well. And coming to the second part of it, current and future, it seems to be very overwhelming, too busy, not focusing on the growth. So that is where attention is needed. And the financial implications is I am presently I am not leveraging on the prospects, so not getting into the best part of it.
Right. Okay. Let me Mac, over to you.
So from my end, strategy conclusions, yes, I spent a lot of extra time on irrelevant topics, thereby resulting in loss of confidence in the business acumen which I represent. One. And the second part is I spend time more on the pro bono activities in order to help people, but that leads to long-term activity not being there for the company. So, and the future consequences is consistent revenue generation is going to be affected, and also on the scaling up will be challenged. So the two are parts. And the financial implications is loss or miss of new clients, which will be minus 30% on the total revenue. And also on the financial, individual financial freedom is challenged. So when I said revenue for year to year, Y to Y will be challenged as well.
Right. I like the clarity which I saw in the room in terms of where you're not doing stuff. Like you were able to at least clearly identify the strategic problem. And always remember, finding or solving the problem, the first step is to identify the problem correctly. So that's a good first step for us today. Let me share my perspective also. I look at the way I've been running my business over the last 1 year, and I see that I was trying to do many things. So lack of clarity, and there was very little spend on marketing in time, effort, and money. The sense of urgency was missing. So I was not doing things at a faster rate. The next part, of course, when looking at these questions is the consequences. Consequences, not enough action on a daily, weekly basis I was taking, and I was not being creative enough to get things done. I was trying to do very routinely. In terms of financial implication, if I were to continue like this, I would fail as a business person, which would of course lead to loss of money as well as confidence. And my investments into becoming a life coach, becoming a business coach and an RD, I would not only lose that, but there is this huge opportunity cost that the salary which I would have been receiving had I been continuing in a job and not jumped into business, that money is also a financial loss to me combined together. So that's all putting together the financial loss also. Okay, so with the understanding and clarity to a certain extent on the problem statement, let's go and assess where we are, how bad, how good we are today, and where we should be in 6 months' time. So, Dr. Sapan, if you could come to page 2 and quickly read through it before we do the
Sure.
assessment.
So page 2, part 2 is assess your own strategic leadership behaviors. Score 1 to 10, with being being barely adequate and 10 being outstanding. The first column, 10 reasons. The first is you have clearly defined strategic goals for your company. That is 2 columns currently and your target within 6 months. Second is you have a commitment from your senior staff to meet these goals. Third, you have these goals summarized for people to see. Fourth, you give strategic issues priority over day-to-day issues. Fifth, you are easily able to explain your business purpose to a range of people, elevator speech. Six, you review your strategic goals at least quarterly. Seven, your senior staff meetings always contain a strategic element, transformational, not just transactional. Eight, you regularly review your action plans, review actions planned to meet strategic goals. Ninth, you report on progress being made in achieving strategic goals. And 10, you often let people know how the business will look a few years ahead, the vision. So there is a total out of 100. And then what are your strategic conclusions on the above? Please asterisk the 2 behaviors in the above list that you particularly want to focus on over the next 6 months. Now, please write each one on a small post-it. Start with a doing work and make it personal to you, positive, and in the present tense.
Perfect. Thank you, Sapan. So as you read through this list of 10 behaviors, right? While this is a self-assessment exercise and you will now be assessing yourself on where you stand on those behaviors, in a way, this assessment sheet is trying to tell you what you should be doing with great clarity, right? So let's do a quick assessment of where you stand today, and basis the numbers you are getting or basis the self-assessment you're doing. Also, immediately while you're putting the current assessment, also try to put a very realistic assessment on where you would like to be in 6 months. I'm saying make it realistic. Don't, I mean, if you had a certain assessment at say like 3, don't assume or wish for, oh, it will suddenly go to 8 and 9 within a short span of 6 months. In some areas it could be possible, but in some places just be realistic in where you would be in 6 months. Later on, you could also do a 12-month or a 2-year journey and put a rating where you would like to be. But let's focus on current as well as 6 months for now. The 10 behaviors, please do a self-assessment. Okay, Sapan is done. Mac and Sriveni is still in progress. We'll give it a few. Sriveni is also done. Mac is also done. Great. Okay, so let's start with Sriveni this time. And in the order of the questions, just talk about your current rating.
Rating. Okay.
Yes,
So I
just
will
the
just
current ones.
read the numbers instead of reading the sentence. Okay.
That should be fine. We all have the list in front of us.
Ha,
So
yeah.
look at quickly.
Yeah. I opened the PDF document on the system. So I'm just reading. So it is
Sure.
2.
Okay.
The first one is 2, 1, 2, 3, 7, 57.
Okay.
Then 2, 1, 1, 2, and 2. Last is 2. So this is about the rating, and the strategic conclusions
Yes.
are that I need to define the strategic goals for the company, and I also am going to go ahead with the summarized goals for the people to see, to build a credibility, and also to explain the business purpose to a range of people. This elevator pitch is done, but I need to combine with the company's goals as well.
Great. Great.
Asterisk,
Yes,
2
we will come to.
behaviors asterisk. Okay, that will come later. Okay, fine.
Yes, yes. Thank you for sharing, Sriveni. And if you look at the scores which Sriveni has given ourselves, you see that most of them were like 2, 3. One was 7, which was the elevator
one.
pitch.
Yes.
Right. So there is clarity in terms of what you are pitching to your client. But you need to get the house in order, right? When you are at 2 and 3, the recognition that the scores are low puts you into action, and you can rapidly go to 4, 5. And then you will have to put in additional effort to further refine that. So great, it's going to be a great launch pad for you to make some significant improvements. So congratulations on that, Sriveni. Mac, we would like to hear from you.
Yeah. So from my end, it is 1 is at 4, second is at 5, third is at 5, and fourth is at 2, fifth is at 6, and sixth is at 4, seventh is at 4, 8 is again 4, and 9 and 10 both are at 6.
Okay.
And which gives me a cumulative of 46%.
Fantastic, fantastic. Your strategic conclusions?
So on the strategy conclusions, mapping my activities not on the day-to-day task, but on the strategic goals alignment needs to be worked on. And that also, and the second part is just getting awareness is not important. Reciprocation with actions needs to be mapped to it. And that's an accountability part which needs to be taken care of.
Fantastic, fantastic. From what we see here, we have scores in between the 4 to 6 range, which says work has been done. There is a certain amount of clarity in what we are doing, how we are doing it. Now there is a need of further refinement to make it far more effective. So you've got things in place. It's now about getting them to become more efficient. Great work, Mac. Sapan, your turn.
Yes, so I have been very much hard and critical on me. So from 1 to 10, my scores are 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2, 3, and 4, coming to 26%.
Okay.
And the
Okay.
strategic conclusions are that I need to have clear strategic goals as such, and I need to work on elevator speech to refine it more to grab opportunities wherever I go.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Great. So the insights are there. You now know where are the focus areas. When I did my assessment, I started off with scores like 3, 3, 2, 1, 3, which are the first 5. And then those questions went operational. And I have literally given myself 0, 0, 0, 0, and 0. For me, it was a huge realization that I don't have an operational plan. I don't have a plan to review things on a periodic basis. I am doing things, I have action items, I'm implementing them. I am not tracking my actions. I'm not reviewing my own progress. So it was a great eye opener for me when I really put 0, 0 out there. So my score is 12 to begin with. and I'm going to put in some actions and focus areas to rapidly improve that. My strategy conclusions: lack of clearly defined goals and which are not communicated, and I'm not geared up operationally, which is a big leap that I need to take. Okay, now we come to the second aspect of this page, that you now have a visibility of where you stand in terms of a percentage number and what you can aim to be in 6 months time. To do that, again, any big task needs to be broken down and then you need to prioritize. So on this page, pick up 2 behaviors and asterisk them in terms of what is going to be your absolutely key focus area. You will have to work on all, but pick 2 areas which you will exceptionally focus on. Okay, you will now rewrite those 2 areas in a very active statement, like this is like something which you have already achieved, already doing, and that statement begins with a action verb, like doing this already, like having strategic meetings every week, doing this. So you could reword it, but that's what you are trying to imbibe now, a 6-month focus area. Pick
Yeah. So if I were to tell mine, I am with
Yes.
the first one and the third one.
Okay, great. The first and the third one are your focus areas, which is about clearly defined strategic goals, and the goals are summarized for everybody to see and understand and absorb. Great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Sapan?
Yeah, it's first and fifth, that is strategic goals, defining, and elevator speech.
Fantastic. Fantastic. An elevator speech is a great thing to begin with. When I take communication sessions with students and all, I give them the elevator speech as the first thing they should practice. Great. Mac, over to you.
So for me, it is point number 4, strategic issues, priority over day-to-day issues, and a regular review of actions plan, which is 8.
8. Fantastic. Fantastic. Great. So good mix of strategic as well as operational. When I went selecting mine, I actually focused on the operational parts. So for me, it is going to be number 8, regular review of action plans, and 9, reporting on progress made. So I get into this habit of operationalizing my things. Great. So now we have got our strategic focus areas also, and we have done a quick assessment of our behaviors. Now let's move on to look at the inspirational side of leadership. And here I would like to ask Mac, if you could read it through the page, those 10 behaviors. It's going to be a similar exercise that we have just done. Sorry, I got mixed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Assess your own inspiring leadership behaviors.
Yes.
Scoring 1 to 10, with 1 being barely adequate and 10 being outstanding. And we'll start with currently and then tangent towards target within 6 months time. So 1 to 10 being, you often thank people for behavior that you meet your strategic goal. You often thank people for behaviors that match your company principles. You keep staff acknowledge behaviors that reflect your business goals. Your staff believe that you care about them as well as the business. Your staff expect you to shoulder responsibility for failures. Your staff expect you to recognize their success. Your staff trust you as their leader. Your staff believe you listen to them. Your staff believe they can positively influence business decisions, and you can spend significant time supporting people who deserve your attention. That's the 10th point, and accumulated with 10 on the 100. So what are your conclusions on the above? And please ask the 2 behaviors in the above list that particularly want to focus on over the next 6 months.
Right. As we have a mix of business owners in the room, some of you have teams working with you, and some of us are also individual owners or one-man army, right? So if you are a one-man army, you obviously don't have staff, but remember, you are working with partners. You are working with service providers who are partially your staff, who are doing things for you, the individuals who are doing marketing support for you, who are running your social media page, who are content creators for you, which you post on your social media page, who are the advertising agencies for you, and so on and so forth. Think of them as your staff while answering these questions. Okay, the individual business owners. And ones with teams, think of your teams and these service providers. Okay, let's give this a shot. Okay, I think Sapan will be back in a minute, but I think he completed the exercise. Sriveni, you are done?
Yes.
Mac, also done, right? Okay, fantastic. Let's go over the scores this time. We'll begin with Mac.
All right. So it is point number 1 is at 8, 2 at 8, 3 at 6, 4 at 7, 5 at 8, and 6 at 6, 7 and 8, both at 6, 9 at 5, and 10 at 4. So,
Good.
which means at 64, my conclusions are invest time with deserving and strategically aligned and listen more often.
Fantastic, fantastic. I have absolutely similar strategic conclusions. I see a lot of commonalities here. Great. So we observe that suddenly the scores are on a slightly higher side. So while in terms of the organization, we were not there yet in terms of being a leader or leadership behaviors, we are still better off as compared to that. So great thing. Sriveni, over to you.
Yes. Yeah. So I would go with the first one is at 10, second is at 10, third is at 6. Third is at 6, fourth is at 9, fifth is at 9, sixth is at 10, seventh is at 9, 8 is at 8, 9 is at 9, and the 10th is at 10. So
Fantastic.
overall, it is 88%. The prior one was at 23%. So as an inspirational leader, it is at 88%. And the conclusions which I mentioned here are, I'm grateful for the people around me who are contributing towards my company growth and my growth. And it's a responsibility to live up to the expectations and also to include them in the business decisions.
Fantastic, fantastic. So while you have made these conclusions, do spend a little time thinking about this huge contrast between the scores of
Yes.
organization versus you as a leader. Okay,
Yeah.
there are certain insights for you to be pulled out from there. Okay,
Correct.
so give it a bit of thought on that. Great.
Sure.
Sriveni, over to you, Sapan.
Yes. So yeah, I was thinking I would be the only one who is doing higher. So yes. So from 1 to 10, it is 8, 8, 5, 5, 7, 8, 7, 8, 8, 7, totaling to 71%. And the strategic conclusions are need to align the staff actions with business goals and need to prioritize my own actions to sync with business goals and team actions.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Great there, Sapan. So we see that our scores again are significantly higher than. So there's a lot of confidence within self. There's a lot of clarity within self. And this also tells you that you actually have it in you to lead a successful business, to make that successful big business big, and also to inspire people to make that vision a reality. So it's there in place, needs a bit of refinement, but then the operational plan also will definitely happen. So great. Thanks, Sapan, for sharing. In my case, I was kind of in between, did not have very high scores, but I did end up giving myself scores which are around 5. So my scores go like 5, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 4. So pretty average in a sense, but I know that there are areas where I can rapidly improve the score. I want to target going from 38 to 64. That a jump in the scores within a span of 6 months. My strategic conclusions were that I will need to give a lot of active support, acknowledgement, and listening to my team. And another one is I'll need to engage in a lot of conversations with the team, which is where the clarity and other things will also come in. Great, fantastic. Now, from these, you would be again identifying 2 behaviors that you want to focus on in the next 6 months.
Yeah.
Identified, Sriveni?
Yes.
We'll go in the same
So
order, Sriveni. Yes.
it is in 3, third and the 8th one. Key
Okay.
staff acknowledging behaviors, and 8th is staff believe you listen to them. On these 2, I will be focusing on the next 6 months.
Fantastic, fantastic. Mac?
For me, it is 9 and 10.
Okay. Fantastic. Your positive influence business decisions where the staff believes that, and of course the time supporting people who deserve your attention.
Yeah.
So that's about creating a balance with your workforce. Great. Sapan?
It's 3 and 4. That is your key staff acknowledge behaviors that reflect your business goals, and your staff believe you care about them as well as the business.
Fantastic, fantastic. Great areas to focus on for me also. Third is a focus area where the key staff acknowledges behaviors aligned to the business goals. And the next one is 7, which is the staff trust me as a leader. So that is one area I'm going to focus on, that they can trust me as a leader who can take them towards big goals. Great. Now, with these identified, we got 2 behaviors from our previous page, which was strategic leadership behavior. And here it was inspiring leadership behavior. We got 2 more areas. And that takes us to the next page. Okay. The next page is about creating our own strategic and inspiring leadership plan. Okay. And as we say, it's going to be step by step, focus one area at a time. So the 4 behaviors which you have identified, do a quick prioritization and put them on this page in those 4 boxes, which comes first, and you will start from the bottom and you will put 1, 2, 3, 4 in the order of priority, which is the first area you will focus on, which is that first behavior you will focus on, and then you build up on that. Now, this is not a 6-month timeline. This is a priority timeline, right? So these timelines will overlap, and it's a matter of which is the most urgent and important one. Okay, so let's do this quickly. Okay. I'm assuming here all are done with their prioritization setting. We have already heard each one of your priorities, so we need not repeat them. Let's go on to the next page. Okay. Now, we're coming to evaluate the benefits of the exercise which we have just done. Okay. Shivani, if you could read this page, we are on page 5.
Okay, yes. So evaluate the benefits to you and your company from strategic and inspiring leadership plan. Imagine 6 months from now, in this time period, you have worked hard at implementing your strategic and inspiring leadership plan from page 4. You are now regularly using these behaviors every day in your business. Go back now to the questions in page 2 and 3. Please fill in the target columns and calculate your total score out of 100%. What will be the likely benefits of these changes to you and your business? First, on your personally, second, on your team, third, on your business, and fourth, on your profit and market value over the next 12 to 18 months, pertaining to your annual sales, your operating profit, percentage operating profit, your profit multiplier, and your market value.
Great. Thank you, Shivani. So we have already done our current as well as the 6-month target for each of those behaviors. I did not want to break up that exercise to do current first and the 6 months later in 2 parts, simply because when you are thinking about a particular behavior, it's easier to think in terms of a timeline rather than thinking about all the behaviors all over again. So we have already done that exercise. Let's focus on this page now. If you focus on those behaviors, those 4 key behaviors that you have already picked, in 6 months, you have improved in those 4 areas, those 4 behaviors. What will be its impact on you as an individual, as a leader, your team, and your business? And then finally, in hard numbers, what impact it will create. So let's do a quick assessment of that and pour your heart out on how it's going to impact you.
అందులో వాట్సాప్ మెసేజ్ ఉంటుంది చూడు అది
Give me a second, friends. Give me a second.
Sure, sure. just a quick note, as you come down to the last section, which is all about numbers, remember the first three, personal, team, and business, are from the point of view of a 6-month timeline. As you go into numbers, the timeline has changed to 1.5 years. Okay. And we are referring back to the valuation of business methodology, which we have discussed before. You use a similar methodology here. Take the profit multiplier as a ballpark number. You don't have the time now to go into a detailed analysis. So just take a good guess at the multiplier number. And in case you do not remember the formula or the methodology, it's okay. You can leave that for now and we can fill it up later in the day, referring back to our valuation exercise. Sriveni, you are done. Sapan also done. Max staring at his numbers.
Except for the last part, I'm ready to go.
Okay, okay. It was almost you were going to burn a hole in the screen, the way you were staring at those numbers. Great. So we'll start with you, Mac.
All right. Since I don't want to give fake numbers, I was just looking at it very drastically. So my previous score has increased from 64 to 72%. And also on the next part, I moved in better. So on the personally part, clarity in business process and individual satisfaction. And also on the personal part, point 2 is financial freedom of at least 50% recognition of
Yes.
my goal. And team, for the team, it is going to be recognized team is efficient team. So that one part, and also clarity to take decision and by understanding why and the benefits of doing what.
Fantastic.
And on the business front, it will be 35 to 40% new business, and also new vertical owners will be there. So rather
Great.
than everything done by one individual. So on the sales part, I'm looking at a 40L per annum from the current margin, and also at operating profit of 20% is what I'm currently looking at, which is a little high, but I'm still taking a chance. But on the profit multiplier and market value, I've not taken it up, so I have to work on that part.
Great, great. Fantastic. Sriveni, you'll go next.
Yeah. So the percentage going back to that page 2, page 3, from 45% to 92%. And on personal, the benefits, likely benefits is I'm getting a roadmap and clarity what to focus on. And on the team, it is much more working much more with efficiency and productivity, and also a kind of security, because that bonding between me and the team members is going to happen. A lot of listening to them and taking their decisions in the business decisions, taking their inputs in the business decisions. And on the business, it's actually a growth. I haven't detailed it, but it's a growth along with the team members' growth as well. And coming to the fourth segment, I have only mentioned about the annual sales, which I'm looking at doubling up from 12 to 18 months. And the remaining 3 I have not worked on.
Okay, no problem, no problem. Great. But we see what are the benefits going to be. Great. Sapan?
Yes. So on a personal level, the benefits will be more clarity about goals and actions and easily able to explain business to people. Team, more sync with them, more sync with team in terms of goals and action, and better utilization of team potential. On the business, more number of conversion of inquiries and increased business value and revenue. And on the fourth part, the annual sales of 300% more, and with operating profit of 85%.
Fantastic, fantastic. See that clarity coming now. So when I started putting it, for me personally, it was a confidence boost for the businessman inside me. Uh, and also a new career is established and financial stability is visible. For the team, I'll have a focused, clear, ambitious, goal-oriented, motivated team, which will be very happy for a continuous revenue stream since I'm looking at partners. Business, it will move from survival to growth phase, and there will be revenue and a healthy balance sheet. In terms of sales, I'm looking at a 30,000 pound revenue by the end in 1 year's time, with a healthy profit of around 50%, since I'll just be looking at adding on people. So maybe it declines. I'll have to recalculate all of that. The profit multiplier and market value, I will recalculate based on certain consideration. I haven't done it right off the cuff. So great. We have, we clearly see the benefits of this exercise now. And we come to the end of this exercise, and all we need to do right now is mark our immediate action steps. Okay, Mac, if you could read the next page. Little reading to be done. Next actions.
Yeah. So decide your next actions. On the first part, you have your next actions, which is to refine your strategic and inspiring leadership plan. What are your next key actions? And that will be done by whom and by when, adding the timeline to it. And the second part is to involve people in your strategic and inspiring leadership plan. What are your next steps and actions, which is again mapped to your by whom and by when. And also please asterisk your key action above.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, you had your 4 key behaviors to work on, those 4 post-it pads which you put on the graph. Now, what we will need is to have an action plan to start creating those behaviors, to enhance those behaviors. So in the next few days or the next few weeks, what are those key actions that you're going to take in terms of refining your plan, as well as sharing that plan or involving other people, your teams, in those plans? So 2 key action items on both these aspects, along with people who will be doing it. It could be you, it could be others, and the specific date. Let's quickly put this together. Sapan is done. Okay, Mac, done. Fantastic. Great. So we would love to hear your action plans. We'll begin with Sriveni.
Okay. So refining the strategic The first part is first I'm going to define, have a clarity in that and give the definition for the strategic goals for the company. It is by me, and I'm going to complete all of this within the next 2 weeks. And second is listen and align with the align the staff with the business goals, where I am focused and what is that I need, what are the expectations that all of us together are on the same page. So this also I'm going to do within the next 2 weeks. And the third, next is involve people. So here I am going to get in communication with the service providers, whom I am going to take for to assist me in taking into account of my business actions. And this is also by me in the next 2 weeks. And the fourth one is where I'm going to hire a virtual assistant who is going to take care of all of this. In this week, I'm looking at um, hiring a VA, virtual assistant.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Great. Sapan?
Yes, so it is the first action is make and practice the elevator speech by 1st December 2022. So I will define by 1st December and practice it regularly. Second is define strategic goals for the company, which will be done by me on by 1st December 2022. Involving people, that is sit with the team for the company goals and actions, that will be done by me and my social media team by 11th December 2022. And ask for the feedback from the team about the current scenario of the company, that will be done by me and my whole team, and that will be done by 4th December 2022.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Very clear dates in there. Mahesh, Mac?
Mine is better. So Mac is for Colin because I don't think he'll be able to spell it out better.
Mahesh.
So for me, it is going to be clarity and map goals versus designate day-to-day tasks so that we don't get confused about what is day-to-day and what is goals. So that should be done by myself on or before December 1st. And the second point would be review map actions versus time taken, so that we understand the time delay of why it is not being done, if it's not done. So that should be mapping to be done by December 1st, which is again by myself. And on the strategic team involvement, it's going to be help peers to understand why and where we do it and what we do it and what needs to be done by them. That will be done by myself in educating them on December 4th. And also the second part would be brainstorming to refine the process and strategic goals in along with the team. So that by mapping their responsibilities as well. So that should be done on or before December 4th.
Fantastic, fantastic. So I see very clear dates or timelines being identified along with clear action items. In my case, based on the four behaviors that I have identified, I'll refine those in terms of exactly what I need to do. I'll expand those. That I will be doing in the next 3 days, and then define what action plan. I define an action plan for implementing them, an action plan for the next 6 months. I'll take another 3 days to do that. So that's the next 1 week for me. Once I have these in place, I then go and share that with my partners. Time of another week for doing that. A couple of 2-3 partners I work with, and in discussion with them, we will set goals for the organization based on this clarity. So in the next 2.5 weeks, this entire cycle will be completed for me. So great. We have clarity on what business behaviors we should be exhibiting for our organization as individual inspiring leaders. And we have identified our key focus areas for the next 6 months also. Remember, while these are your priority areas, you also look at the other areas also. We had 10 in each of those groups. Look at improving slightly on all the areas while you focus on the key 4. Okay. Now, we have the action plan we just discussed. It will be good to cross check with each other if we are actually on track, and that also keeps us accountable. So how about doing it this way? Mac, Sapan, you can check with each other over the next 3-week period. Determine a frequency, whether you want to do it weekly or you want to do it on specific dates. Since you have got dates on your plan, you could align it to that. Me and Sriveni, we will cross check with each other. Again, similarly, we will individually agree on specific dates or a timeline. Okay, great. So with that, we come to the conclusion of our workbook today, which was all about the strategic and inspiring leadership. Right now, even in those 4 action items which you have created, do a quick prioritization, which you want to target first, second, third, and fourth. Most of them, as I see the way you have done it, it's almost in a sequence or logical order. So it will set itself up. But otherwise, if they are all parallel activities, try and identify a priority one and just give it a star or an asterisk mark, which should help you. Great. So all the best for the action plan. And once you get into action, then one thing will flow after the other, and you will see a great progress. And you will definitely emerge as an inspiring and strategic leader for your organization, for your team, for your business. All the best for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hemant.
Okay. Any quick feedback?
It was good. It was good in flow. You were in command explaining each and everything. And I was just confused with one thing. No, it is not about you. It is about the workbook.
Yeah,
जो
yeah.
last page वो दिया है. Sorry, before the last page, that you now do the remaining 6 months points on the page 2 and 3. I think I don't know. As on a personal level, I don't know any logic about giving it on the 3rd or 4th page. Because जब हम कर रहे हैं तो then also we have a vision कि okay यहाँ पर हम कर रहे हैं तो what is about the 6 months vision that where we want to reach there.
Yes, yes.
I think it is good that you didn't cover it again, but it was fine.
Yeah.
Really.
For me,
loved
it's
what-
like think about the same topic once rather than doing it
Yes.
all over again now and then again do it for 6 months later. It
Yes,
kind of
yes.
breaks the flow also.
Yes, yes, yes.
So I did not find that very comfortable. I thought, do it now. You have an assessment which either surprises you or shocks you. It's either too low, too high, and then immediately you have a thing that, okay, now I want to take it here in 6 months' time. So that was my logic. Just made more sense to me in the flow. Max, Srivani?
Yeah. Yeah, you have conducted it fantastically well, Hemant. So the flow was there, explanation was there, involvement was there. So all of that. So coming to Sapan's question, what I felt is currently we are filling it now with that state of mind. And once we come to this page 3, I think so, page 4, after creating your own strategic and inspiring leadership, that graph kind of thing, maybe then after sorting out that, probably we get an idea, and then that is how it is designed. I felt that way, but doing it simultaneously is also one of it. So then you get a clarity. And here in this last page, 5th page, when they are saying go back to the questions on page 2 and 3, that is where we get that rating of after 6 months on both the pages. That's what I feel.
Yeah,
that's my perception. Yeah.
Right. And when you're saying that, it also struck me that it could also mean that when you have chosen those 2 + 2, 4 behaviors you will focus on, you will relatively have a bigger jump on those 4,
yes,
and compared to the others where you're not really focusing.
Yeah.
So it could be that logic also.
Yeah. I haven't watched the video pertaining to this, but I just came fresh with an open mind. Let's see after that.
Yeah, same here. This workbook was chosen just a few minutes before the session.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So from my part, to let the cat out, right? I was on and off, not participating much. In the second part of it, I left. I went. I came back, but I was not asked whether have I finished or did I complete it. Where did I stand?
Oh, I actually assumed that you did the exercise and then you said, I'll be back in a minute.
No, I never told anything. I just missed up and downstairs and
I
came
too
back.
did not.
Right,
So,
right. My mistake.
I understand this is online. We tend to miss out on certain part.
Yeah. No, but good point. Good point.
Yeah, and the other part is, I do not know whether this can be asked as a clarification, but it genuinely sounded for me at least. All right, my profit percentage is 20. but Sapan's is at 80 or 85. That's a huge variance between two talk.
Yes.
So did we not understand why am I at 20 or why is it at 85? I know it is nothing to judgmental, but
No,
that
no.
could give me clarity about my documenting wrongly or him taking it up on the extra stretch. So
Yeah, yeah.
I too felt that.
that part, because I told 20 and still told it is
High.
too much
Hmm.
from my end. But he said
Yes.
very casually 80% and still. It was for me, it was a clarification from Sapan, but how did he map to 84% on a profit margin? But I'm seeing only a 20%. If that is 84%, I would love to take his business plan idea and try
Yeah.
put it here.
So
That's a huge.
why I have kept it 80? At present, I can measure it at 60, but I want to take it because it was a scenario of after 12 to 18 months. That's why I keep it 85 or kind of, because I have very less expenses regarding the team salaries and other kind of expenses. I have very less. So that's why I can increase my operating profit because every expense is borne by the companies. So I don't have to do anything. I just have to go there, deliver the session and charge for the money. And that's why my operating profit is more and expenses are very less. And whatever the expenses I make regarding stationaries or any other material, then also I include it in the package. So they are also paying me for those expenses also. So my actual expenses are very less pertaining to the business. And that's why I can keep the operating profit ratio more.
So one thing which I had
to add
mentioned.
one clarification. Yeah, go ahead, Janet. Yeah.
So the thing is something which I had mentioned in my previous workbook also when people had quoted high profit margins is, are you including the tax component also when you're doing it? Because the tax has to go from your revenue.
Yes, yes.
So if you say 80%, are you paying less than 20% or like less than 10% tax?
Yes, yes, yes. I have kept all the calculations.
So what is your tax percentage from a business?
That I don't know, honestly. My CA just sends me the invoice and that I pay. So for that part, I am not clear what are my tax percentage, but yes, I have calculated the expenses.
Right. So because for
my
every 100 rupees you earn, there will be a tax which will go out. There will be
Yes,
expenses and so on and so forth. So 80 definitely is a big number, but it has to be seen in
Yes,
that
yes.
light also. Yes, Mahesh, you were saying something.
Yeah. So for me, to ask Sapan, if you're operating as a company or if you're operating as an individual, two different patterns. If you're operating as an individual, it's going to be your professional tax alone and then comes into your IT returns filing, which could give you a negligible percentage, which could talk about 80% or 70%, irrespective. But if you're operating as a company, then you are at a GST percentage and also on a professional tax and also on a service tax, which will be charged at 10% from your end. All that concluded. And then if that's a company, you as an individual, if you are getting paid from your company, then it is a cost for the company, not a benefit for you.
Yes,
So
yes.
if that is a cost, then still 80%, then your
So
profit
remaining
margin or
options,
charge margin is at the higher part.
no, I
I
am
would
working
love to get that part.
as an individual. I am operating, and that's
All
why,
right.
not a company. So
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
why it is a very less expense for me.
But it would be better if you're operating, since you're doing on that, if you would be operating on a company part, it would give you on a longer returns one. Second is your feasibility and the benefits from MSME would be higher compared to an individual. Though you're operating as a proprietor and still as a company, but still the value is going to be the same. Tax will also be the same, but GST benefits would be much higher when you operate at a corporate level, because that person who's paying you will be deducting GST on your behalf still, but you're not getting the benefit as an input tax. So which you could still utilize it as well.
But I have thought about the GST, but I am not having that kind of purchase regarding the GST. So even if I will charge the GST, it will be the kind of GST credit which will be unused. So I have consulted the GST accountant and I asked them that if whether I should get the lump sum GST number or kind of as a lump sum GST owner. But paying kind of a GST accountant for the returns, it will be more difficult for me to maintain all the invoices because I don't have that kind of purchase input credit that will be used against my charge which I'm charging to the companies, and that's why I have not taken the GST number.
Okay. 20 crores, I understand. But one other part, since now you're under tag as well, you're coming as an individual consultant. I'm also on an individual consultant, which will be relatively, what I've done is I relatively mapped myself as a person who's been as a consultant given on a rent to tag, where my company gets paid from my part also. So thereby this total turnover comes into a conclusion, one, and that becomes a service offshore from the company, and thereby increases value of the company in terms as well. So I'm also trying to apply for a digital signature, and this is going to be an input for me from import export part. So that increases the value of your company and you potentially individually as well. If you go individually, it's not going to be valued by the corporates and also by the banks. But if you go it as a company value, then your double, triple values on individual as well.
We
Good
need,
suggestion.
we need one dedicated session where Mahesh is just teaching us business. No, because all this is absolutely new for me.
Yeah.
Like being
Same
salaried all
here.
my life, never even thought of these things. So I'm not even
Accounts of
aware that
business.
these things
I
are there.
operate on 2 individual bank accounts. For me, I have individual, and for the company, and for me, the company pays my salary for the number of hours I tune in. Even I'm the single owner of the company, but
Yeah.
still company pays me as an individual. So I
Yes.
put all my tax, my hotel bills, phone, credit card, or petrol, all that. I map it to my Zoho account and then charge it. So my overhead cost is that much. Still, my input covers the remaining. GST covers the remaining. Still, if I'm an operational profit percentage, the banks look at you at a different level. Thereby increasing your CIBIL rating goes higher. And on the individual level, when you go in for corporate treatments, your company gets more valuation than individual. So even if you have an OPC or your proprietorship, either way, it's going to be a better value.
Okay. So yes, Sapan.
Probably we need kind of enlightenment from you. Later we'll have a session as to how to go about all of this, right, Mac?
I hope I'm that much knowledgeable, but
At
5
least
years down
some.
the line, when I started from corporate, I had nobody to help me out. 6 months was just burning my fingers, lost a lot of money. Then to learn from the BNI circumference and also from these, how people utilize me. With my exotic exclusive, my another company, I've seen people doing business from my money. I go give it to him 100 rupees in front of me, he will sell it for 500 rupees and pay me back after 7 days time in front of me. I've been sitting having 1 cup of tea and coming back with no revenue.
Yeah, so inroads into that. Maybe you can just give us a little brief into it. So later we can also explore on that.
Yeah, anytime.
Great.
So take your time. Thank you so much for that. But 85%, I would love to connect with you, Sapan. 60% is great volume.
I think it
Great.
will also be a function of relative revenue versus your cost also. Like when we have this, or in the initial phases where your revenues are not very high, the operational cost is there, even if you consider the bare minimum. So your profit percentage will be very, very less. But as the revenue begins to grow and your operational cost does not grow linearly with it, then the profit percentage begins to increase. Then you come to a point where you have to start investing in manpower of your own, office space, etc., which is when the suddenly expenditure goes up and your profitability will take a nosedive and it will really drop significantly. And then again, the journey starts.
From Sapan, I want to see the pricing point that he works out. Might be
Yes.
that is where he plays a big role. For me, at least, his pricing is on a different tangent. I need to understand how he does the pricing. If that's the case, I need to learn from him because I'm underquoting myself rather. So that I should understand.
Yeah, true.
Definitely. Okay, great. So now we have one
Thank you.
mastermind to do.
Are you all ready? Yeah, that's what it's now already 125. So are you all ready for no break? Okay, but do you think we will be able to continue the workbook today, or let us take it next time? Now that we had, choice is yours.
I am ready for it now also, and we can take it even the next time also. I'm fine with it.
How about you, Mac and Hemant?
I will need to take a break after 20 minutes. And that break could be 10 to 15 to 20 minutes. I have to go and pick up my kid from the bus. And the bus comes in a range of 15
same problem
minutes.
for me as well.
So I think let us postpone it. So
yes.
it will
Okay.
Next week we will take, we will plan accordingly. And today, in fact, after coming also, we had a lot of discussions.
I
in
think
that.
next week, I think it will be next week 4, right?
Yeah,
Next
Week 4. Yeah, this is
And
week 3.
4, we have to do practice with calling for the
With
mastermind.
Colin.
Colin is 4 or 6?
4, 2 and 4.
2 and 4.
2 and 4.
Ah, okay, okay.
2 he came.
So,
Okay,
let
okay.
us do one thing. On next week we can have 2 masterminds instead of
Huh.
one.
One,
Workbook,
yes.
one mastermind. Let us have 2 masterminds so that 2 people can have a practice for
Yes.
mastermind for
Yes,
calling.
With Colin. With Colin, we'll plan 2 masterminds and 2 workbooks. We will plan it
So-
and follow it
No,
very
2
rigorously.
masterminds only.
Acha, only 2. Yeah, that is true.
You want to
Because
have
we
full
did
day?
last time 2 workbooks.
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
was thinking you guys took another 8 hours sitting there.
No. Yeah, only 2 masterminds. True.
2 masterminds.
Yes.
Right. And we will meet both Monday and Wednesday. So Monday we will have a practice round, and then Wednesday, and we'll have to decide who goes. I mean, in terms of decision, since last time me and Sapan have already presented, then it's 2 of you guys between Mahesh, Sriveni,
Bartos will
and
also be there.
Bartos.
So today is
Hey,
what we
congratulations
planned.
to you both, man. The mail was simply superb. The mail what Colin sent to everybody, all the RDs, that this batch has been shining, and great presentations from you guys. Thank you so much for keeping the flying high.
I think that is just an inspirational mail which is being sent to all.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
But then also, we just
Yeah.
said and then it's said and then so if we
Might
are
be
perfect,
comparatively, we've not seen the other side, so we are underestimating ourselves. So
yes.
No, that's
No, we
okay.
are good.
That's
We are
okay.
good. We are better.
We are
Yeah.
good, absolutely.
Yeah.
at least we are
So-
more dedicated in terms of what we're putting in. So that's
Practice,
sensible enough.
practice sessions. So we will put it in the group next Monday. Whoever is doing the workbook, they will mention in the group along with the number. And for Wednesday, the masterminds, we will continue the same, Hemant, like how I will be the RD and you are the member with issue, which you posted to me in my personal window regarding the issue. That we will take it up, and we'll have another pair for workbook.
So between Mahesh and Bartos, you can decide who wants to go with Colin.
I've already done a workbook, so I would let Bartos do if in case, because I was supposed to be the member with a problem which I've sent to a mastermind. But since unfortunately that is not aligning right now, if you are going to, Sriveni, and you're going to do it, then I'll allow Bartos to do the workbook rather.
We both will continue for Wednesday when Colin. And what will that time be? It will be 3 or 1 for UK time.
You're going to do the mastermind along with Colin?
It's
We have to do the mastermind with Colin, 2 masterminds.
2 masterminds.
Okay, then I'll have Bartos also do with me. So that gives two masterminds.
We need to define 4 people who will conduct the mastermind and 4 people who will present the issue. 2 for the practice session and 2 for the call-in, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's do
Hemant
this
and
thing.
myself are going to be members. Sriveni and Bartos are going to be the RD for the mastermind for call-in.
Yes.
But we need to understand for the Monday's program what we're going to do.
Monday's program, put it in the chat. We can give chance to Vikas and Bartos because they were not here for this today. Maybe if they will take up, that's fine for Monday. Right?
Fine.
Yeah.
Done.
So Hemant, maybe
hats
you
off to you. Thank you so much for all the support you've been doing. You've been organizing, fixing up people. So
he has taken up that ownership. So Hemant, maybe you can go ahead and communicate in the group for the next Monday and Wednesday plan as well. Okay.
In fact, I gave you a new line of business for you as a virtual assistant, which Sriveni was looking. On money, man.
Yeah. So ours is fixed for Wednesday with Colin.
Okay. Great. We'll do that. Super. Now do we want to discuss another 15 minutes on any of those questions which were posted by either your clients that were discussed in the group before we conclude the session today?
10 minutes?
Yes, you can do, but I'll have to go if you permit.
Okay.
Right,
guys. So see you, on another
Monday.
call on Thursday.
Oh, Thursday, yes.
Thursday is an accountability call.
And before that, our
IST.
practice call. Nobody came last time.
That is what. So it just slipped my mind. So what time are we joining for that?
1 hour before the accountability call.
7:30.
So
I was there
7:30.
last time. I was there.
Yeah, so it was like this two people.
Nobody was
I
there.
was there,
I
open
was
the
No,
on-
the
meeting.
sales call. I was there along with Bartos and me, pitching in on the sales call. Right? Is that what you're talking about?
Thursday.
Thursday,
Correct.
7:30.
7:30. We were talking about the sales and how to pitch it, cold calling.
And then you also left, I think, so early. Then Hemant was asking, nobody is there, and I was not there. It just slipped my mind. I was there for accountability
Oh,
call
was it this
8:30.
week or the previous week? I'm not sure.
Last week,
my
last
No,
week.
I think
First week we did, second week we have not done.
Second week
my
I was not
apologies. I
available because of
completely
the
off.
marriage.
See, last
I
week
was
you
in
were not
marriage.
there. So
Yes, you went for a marriage. Yes.
Yes.
Sapan
Yeah.
was in marriage. Mac, we thought you are busy.
Yeah, in that.
Yeah.
But nobody else turned up.
Yes, it slipped my mind. I apologize. It slipped my mind. I was only planning for Colin's call, and then this one, it just slipped my mind. In fact, we'll ping in the WhatsApp that we are starting the call, so that again people who forget can
We'll
join
do
in.
that. Please block your calendars also.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go by the
Sure,
calendar.
sure.
Great.
Yeah.
Anyway, then we'll conclude the call today.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Right. Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you
everybody.
so much,
Thank
Hemant.
you. Thank you,
So
everybody.
looking forward for the recording also. You have very nicely put it in YouTube unlisted.
Yes.
Let's follow that.
I'll put it in the same channel. So the link is
Yes.
also common.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye.
See you guys.
See you.